We're going to do a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to find that lower abdominal drawing in, a little bit of pelvic floor underneath. Hold that middle like you're wearing your best pants. Chin up, bend your knees, bring your hands forward. Get a stretch into your calves. And then gather in that little bit of extra pelvic floor as you lift up onto your tiptoes, hands behind you. And then dip down, bend your knees, stretch your calves. Check you've got the abdominals. Draw up through the pelvic floor a little bit extra, up onto your tiptoes. And then drop down, bend forward. And then lift up on your tiptoes, pull up through the core. And then dip down. Now we're going to add a bit. From this dip down place, lift your heels off the floor, press them down, then up onto your tiptoes, hold, check in, drop your heels, bend your knees. Lift your heels off the ground, keep the tummy muscles gently in towards you. Press your heels down, up onto your tiptoes. Feel the backs of your legs working, tighten your arms, notice the pelvic floor is engaged. Bend down into a little mini squat, lift your heels, and now if you want to, you can come right up onto your tiptoes, stretch your arms overhead. And then we're coming back into our mini squat, press the heels down, pull your hands back up onto your tiptoes. Feel your core muscles working, bend your knees, check in on the abdominals, lift the heels clear. Now you've got to hold the abdominals, draw everything up inside, and breathe. And then bend your knees, heels down, lift up onto your tiptoes. One more. Drop the heels, bend the knees. Lift the heels off the floor, hold there, abdominals engaged. Draw up the pelvic floor as you grow tall. Hold it, breathe. And then bend your knees, heels down. Tighten the backs of the legs, lift up through your center, hold your balance. And then release. Lovely. Little bit more balancing, which is great for making your glutes work with your abs and your pelvic floor. So staying with our feet pointing forward, draw the hands up and bring one foot alongside your knee. Hold there and then take your hands down, leg down, tighten the bottom you're about to stand on. Keep those abdominals drawn in. You won't necessarily feel the pelvic floor, but it has to work when you do this. And then we're going to change sides again. Tighten the new leg. Use the glutes, tummy muscles engaged. Lift your chin. And then back down. And again, change. And down. Now on the next few, you can make it harder by adding in opening your arms and closing your arms. And change. Tighten the new bottom. Lift your chin. Holding in at the waist and the lower abdominals and down. And if you're more advanced and you like a balance challenge, then you can open out into a clam, a standing clam at the top. Just carefully changing from one side to the other. Take your time. Don't worry if we're a bit out of sync. That's fine. Work with your breath, just letting yourself breathe in and out, trying to avoid holding your breath. Check in on those abdominals. Lift and feel the glutes working. One more. And down. Lovely. Now just on the spot, a couple of roll downs, but as we come up, we're going to cross our wrists and pull off an imaginary jumper overhead. Just makes for a more complete exercise. So beautiful posture. Breath in. As you breathe out, engage the lower abdominals and get that light lift in the pelvic floor as if you put some fantastic underpants on. Start beautifully tall. Take as many breaths as you like. As you breathe out, chin on your chest, stretch the back of your neck. And then keep breathing normally as you drop the shoulders forward, rounding the upper back. Push out through your middle back. Let your spine slowly fold towards the floor. Go maybe just to middle of the shins, have a breath. And as you breathe out, we're coming back up using the abdominals to drive the work. Cross your wrists. Peel off an imaginary jumper overhead. Have a nice breath. As you breathe out, check tummy in, little bit of pelvic floor. Chin on your chest, shoulders forward. Let yourself roll down past your knees, past your shins, towards your feet. At the bottom, breathe deep and wide. Let your back have a nice stretch. Have a breath, and as you breathe out, use the abdominal muscles to start driving you back up from the front. Cross your wrists, draw up waist, chest, shoulders, head, overhead stretch, and down. Breath in, breathe out, check in on the abdominals and pelvic floor. If they snuck off, grab them back. Chin on your chest, shoulders roll forward, and now you can go as far towards the floor as your body will reach. If you're a stretchy person, lean on your big toes. If you're not very stretchy, bend your knees so you can get nice and close to the floor. And maybe pause here, have a little bit of a wiggle into your seat and a nice stretch around the top of the hamstrings. As many breaths as you like. Then when you're ready to come up, have a breath. As you breathe out, think abdominals drawing in to drive the movement. Start to straighten the legs. And as you straighten up, think about the pelvic floor. Reach your arms overhead, drawing your inner core up inside you for lovely poise. We'll do one more. Have a breath. As you breathe out, chin on your chest, let yourself roll. Enjoy that delicious stretch. Linger at the bottom, breathe deep and wide, give your body time. And then as you breathe out, engage your center. Restack your hips, your waist, your chest. Lengthen to the ceiling. Up and round. Lovely. Take a moment to get comfortable on your mat. Feet, knees, hips in symmetry. Have a little bit of a wiggle about till you feel even. Maybe check in on your hips and shoulders. Let your head turn to one side and then turn to the other side. And again. And bring your head into your middle position. Let both hands float up to point to the ceiling and start with some shoulder drops. Lift the fingertips of one hand past the other and then let the shoulder thud to the mat. So lift, thud, lift, thud. Elbows are nearly straight. It's the thud of the shoulder that you're after. Start slow and you'll probably find one side's a bit tighter and less natural to move than the other. But as they ease up, you can go faster. Lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop. Trying to get under your shoulder blades. And then you can pummel quite fast. It's a nice feeling. Now remember that lift, drop round the center feeling. And we're going to do the same for the hips. So bring the hands down. Draw the tummy muscles in. Little bit of pelvic floor, lift your hips in the air. And now it's drop, lift instead of lift, drop. So you're going to drop your hip, lift it. Other side, drop, lift. Drop, lift. Drop, lift. And again, you'll probably find one side feels a bit stickier than the other, like it doesn't really want to do it. But just have a little go. And then pop your bottom down. Have another go with your arms. Lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop. Notice how your spine stays in the middle, but the joints move around it. Little pummel. And then switch back to the hips. And sometimes your hips learn off your shoulders. So drop, lift, and you'll find you can speed it up a little bit and get that sort of pummeling effect for the hips as well. And then lower yourself down. Nice. Now settle into your neutral spine. So squash your back, arch your back, find your middle position, and sneak your fingers round to keep an eye on your hip bones to make sure they're staying nice and level. Breath in. As you breathe out, flatten the abdominals, little bit of pelvic floor to anchor the pelvic position. Keep the shoulder blades just stuck to the mat and that nice gap under your neck, back of your head just stuck to the mat. And without anything moving in your top half, keeping the abdominals gently engaged, lengthen a leg and lightly rest the heel on the floor. Feel that lengthening down the leg, stretching your body, but without letting your back go into an arch. Then draw the foot back in, keep the tummy flat, pelvic floor switched on, and lengthen the other leg, rest the heel. And back in. We're going to blow out to stretch out, and in as we come back in. Blow out to stretch out. And I want the heel to just touch the floor, but without dragging the back into an arch or making the shoulder blades come off the floor. So we're trying to flatten ourselves. One more each leg. Might just take a bit of thinking to lengthen the leg rather than arch the back. Then pause, let everything go. You'll feel your back wants to arch. Find your neutral, breath in. As you breathe out, engage the center, little bit of pelvic floor, and you can add an arm. So now as we stretch out and touch our heel, we're going to reach back and just find the floor with your fingertips. And then back to the center, make sure you've got a flattened tummy, little bit of pelvic floor, stretch back with your other side. Just touch the floor, heels and fingertips, back in. Keep the abdominals, beautiful stretch. It's got to be perfect. Just find the floor, back in. And as you find the floor, you're trying to find it by lengthening your limbs, not by arching your back. Keep those shoulder blades down, ribs nice and low. Work with your breath, blowing out to stretch out, and in as you pull back in again. It's called a starfish. Make yourself as long and elegant as you can. One more each way. Back to the center. Lower your arms, let everything go. Now we're going to make it a bit more challenging. If this starts to make your tummy bulge or you keep losing your anchor on the mat, you might need to come back to this level. But we're going to do breath in. As you breathe out, abdominals in, little bit of pelvic floor, and fold your right leg into tabletop. Hold this right leg lovely and still, using a little bit more core than we needed for the last one. And now, hands relaxed beside you, going to just slide the left leg out to touch the heel, and then bring it back in again. And you'll feel that you've got no anchor, so you've got to work a lot harder with the abdominals. You can have the hands just beside you to start. Keep the right leg still, extend the left one, and draw it back in. Blowing out to stretch out, in to come back in. Keep the right leg still, stretch out, and in. Takes a bit of thinking, one more. Lengthen the leg, keeping that neutral spine, and then drop the right leg down. Let everything go, reset, breath in. Breathe out to engage the abdominals, find your pelvic floor, neutral spine. Left leg in tabletop position, holding beautifully still. Hands beside you, shoulder blades stuck to the mat. Extend the right leg, find the heel, and back in. Blowing out. Hold it a second, back in. Elongating the leg rather than arching the back. Hold it, back in. Work with your breath. 2 more. Back in, lower your leg. Then to take it up a level, what we call leveling up, we're all going to lift our arms and you can repeat the leg in the air and the heel stretches, but with no hands to support you. Or the next level up would be arms in the air, start in tabletop, touch down, stretch out to find the heel, come back in, lift up. So I'll do this one, but you could do the one in between, which is arms in the air, stretching only. Take your time, don't rush. You've got lots of concentrating to do. Keep those lower abdominals engaged. And just work with your breath, aiming to blow out as you stretch out. Shoulder blades touching the mat. One more. Keep those tummy muscles engaged. Stretch long. Draw back in. Then lower one, lower the other. Maybe a few shoulder drops just to ease out. Tilt, arch, find your neutral, and draw your left leg into tabletop. Nicely engaged lower abdominals. You're going to need that little bit of pelvic floor like good pants. We're going to fold the right leg up, and the movement is touch down, lengthen to find the heel on the floor, fold back in, pick up. Shoulders down, ribs down. Got to keep everything else still. Take your time. And I think if you aim for blowing out as you stretch out, the other breaths will work their way around that. 3 more, shoulder blades down. If it feels a bit much for you, just do the leg in and out without the lifting into tabletop each time. Last one. And then lower one foot, lower the other foot. Stretch your arms out comfortably wide beside you. Stick your feet and knees together and let both knees drop to one side. Have a nice diagonal stretch. Back to the middle and then to the other side. And you can go all the way to the floor if you're a stretchy person, turning your head away. Or if you're not so stretchy, just let the knees go as far as feels comfortable. You're going to feel a stretch across your chest and down your arm. I like to turn my head away from my knees. Gently side to side. One more each way. Then bring your knees back to the center.